What's up, guys? Welcome back to the ASAP Automotive channel. And today, for those of you who've been following along in our build series with our 01 LSTJs, we're calling it, with Project 6.0, today is the day that we're tearing this drivetrain out. So our goal today is to go ahead and get the complete drivetrain out. That's going to include motor, the trans, transfer case, and the drive shafts. We're going to go ahead and get this whole thing out, because then we've got to pull the motor off of it, make the rest of the drivetrain up, set it back in, mock everything up so we can get our measurements for our drive shaft. So with that being said, in today's episode, we're going to work on getting this snatched out and getting ready to mate everything up. So here we go. All right, guys, so as with anytime you're working on your vehicle, or any vehicle for that matter, if you're, especially going to be around anything with electronics, of course today we're going to be tearing the whole thing out. You always want to disconnect your battery. It always disconnect your negative first, and then it always goes on last. That severely reduces the chance of any kind of major arcage that could, fry a computer, which can easily happen. So just disconnect the battery if you're working on anything electronical. Don't be an idiot. So we got that done. One of the next things we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to drain our fluids, get our drive shafts out, and we'll work on getting the core support out. This motor is going to actually come out pretty much intact. I think we might actually pull the radiator with it, leave the hoses on and everything. Because of what we're doing, most of this stuff's not going back in anyway, so we're going to sell the motor as complete. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to do a time lapse on this. We'll probably stop a few times, give you guys a little bit of tidbit information here. Most of this stuff's just kind of, disconnecting or, nuts and bolts, and most of that stuff, if you're doing something like this, you probably should, be confident enough to do. So if you guys have any questions about anything we do, of course, always feel free to, drop us a comment. We're glad to answer anything. So let's get rolling. All right, man. So we're gonna go over a little bit of what we've done so far. On the bottom side, we went ahead and got the rear drive shaft done, or unbolted off the rear yoke. We just left it hanging because we're gonna get rid of it and everything. The front drive shaft unbolted from both ends, got it out of the way. Got the transfer case linkage unhooked. We've got most of the stuff off ready for the transmission. We just got to take the set screw out, take the shifter off of there. We're going to go in there and disconnect the fuel line. We've already got the fuel pump harness connector disconnected. It's really about the only electrical thing on this one we had to do. So really the exhaust and the fuel line, that's about it down there. Up top side, we went ahead and we started getting the main harness disconnected. The harness is going to come out all together with it, so you don't have to worry about disconnecting a bunch of stuff with the motor. Went ahead and started getting some of the vacuum lines off. One of the other things I did here, I want to show you guys. So, if you look right now, here's your heater hoses, your inlet and outlet. So the heater hoses you're not going to reuse on your new motor. So a lot of times they'll get pretty much stuck on here. They'll like stick to it. So what you can do is take you like a razor blade or something like that and cut in along here like this. Don't press too hard, you don't want to cut into this copper, it's pretty soft. And then you can actually twist. If this one will, which it won't. If we didn't have the camera on it, it would totally do it. So you can kind of get in there and just kind of work it loose a little bit, just be nice and gentle, just like now. And when it comes off, and boom goes the dynamite. Because we're going to reuse this heater core because we want heat. So when we put in the new motor, we'll run the new lines to it. So everything looks pretty good. I don't think we had any leaks with this one, so we should be able to reuse it. If you got any leaks in there, it's probably a good time to go ahead and pull out that section of the dash and go ahead and change it out. That's a whole nother video for a whole nother episode. Hopefully we won't have to deal with that on this one. So, but everything's good there. If you'll notice, we went ahead and unplugged our two connectors here. You know, these things vary a little bit throughout the years. Yours might look a little different here and there, but you know, you normally have a couple of main connectors here. Make sure your grounds. You know, just kind of look at it. Take your time. You know, an extra 15 minutes of just looking over and planning your plan of attack will save you a lot of headache and hassle, and you might end up, you know, unhooking a bunch of stuff you don't even need to mess with, because our goal is to pull this out as complete as possible. Alright, man, so went ahead and we're trucking right along today. We've got the rest of all of our airbox assembly out. We went ahead and took our lights out. It was just as simple as pulling these two screws for the beauty rings out. There's you just unplug it. There's 3 nuts back here. The studs come out with the whole assembly. You've got those out. The harness here, on this particular model, we had to unplug everything underneath the fender here, fish it through, fish it back through here, undo all the little retainers. We just fished it back out and hung it to the side. Got a couple of bolts right down in here and right now. On both sides here, and you got one more bolt right now down here, which is actually a technically it's actually a body mount. You got 2 snubbers, one on each side here, which kind of dampen it. Got a few more bolts right now on either side here. So we've already evacuated our AC system. We're going to go ahead and disconnect our condenser lines now. And we're going to go ahead and disconnect our radiator hoses and pull the core support out and on to the next section. So stay with us, guys. All right, you guys ever heard of the phrase, the last 10% takes 90% of the time? Yeah, we were making really good time until we got to the shifter, and we found a booby trap. And the releases to release the tension on it to pop the shifter off, somebody had already screwed those up royally. So we ended up just giving up and having to take the whole top end of the shifter assembly out of the top of the transmission, do a rag over it so don't get anything in. So that being said, we've got our fuel line disconnected, cross member out underneath there, the big pan, all that. Got our front motor mount bolts loose just in there. So last thing we got to do is just hook up the cherry picker to it and lift this whole bad boy on out. So we get right to it. Right now. All right, guys, so we're gonna end it off there today. We ended up getting the complete drivetrain out of this thing. Motor, transmission, transfer case, as you see, all right there. Was able to pull it all out. I'll give you guys a quick heads up on this. When you're doing this, don't try to cheat like we did. Pull the exhaust off and pull it off right there at the manifold. Would have been way easier. But we tried to cheat and it kind of ended up biting us, but it wasn't too bad. We got it out. Yeah, it's a wonder how that thing was even freaking breathing with 3 cats on it, man. That's insane. So, anyways, the next episode we'll be putting that engine on the other stand over here, getting it ready to sell, and we're gonna go ahead and get the transmission and transfer case off, get it over on the bench. Maybe do a couple of things as we need to, do a little bit of cleanup and prep work, and then hopefully in that same episode we might be working on mating it up to the new engine and getting everything set down. So we've still got to cut the old motor mounts out, or the motor mount brackets out. So we still got a ways to go, but we've made a ton of progress today. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, you know, any questions along the way or anything we might have missed, you know, this isn't 100%. You know, we tried to not bore you guys to death, but anyways, guys, remember, stock is not an option.